I think it's a huge deal, right? This is Ruoming Pang, the most respected AI researcher and AI executive at Apple. He's basically holding everything together there. It's an upward battle where they're developing these models, but they're struggling because they don't have enough GPUs to train the models, right? They have pushback from the software engineering department. They also have this privacy stance, which means their models can't be as effective as the models that you're seeing from ChatGPT, you're seeing from Anthropic with Claude, you're seeing from Google Gemini. Now at Meta, right, the gloves are off. He's going to be able to develop models and train them to the extent that he wants to be able to mitigate the privacy concerns to the extent that he wants to, along with everyone else they're hiring for Meta for superintelligence. And so this is a big setback for Apple. Internally, they claim they have a deep bench behind Pang in order to fill that gap, but the reality is they really don't. And the other reality is, I'm told a bunch of these people are probably going to follow him out the door to Meta, OpenAI, Anthropic, and others. Apple pays measly amounts compared to the competition. I would guess that Pang was making around $5 to $7 million a year at Apple in his position running the foundation models team. At Meta, probably making well north of $25 to $50 million per year. I'm told his pay package is probably somewhere north of $200 million over 4 to 5 year contract. And so Apple, not in a great space right now when it comes to AI research.
Wow. Okay, so I was going to ask you about compensation, but you answered the question. You should see Emily's face and my face when you said measly $5 to $7 million a year. Because I think for a lot of people that sounds like quite a bit of money, but we're talking about an AI arms race where we've seen reporting, Mark, that shows that Meta Platforms is offering $100 million signing bonuses plus annual compensation of $100 million. This is unprecedented.
When I said measly about the $5 to $7 million, I was referring to your point, in comparison to what you're seeing in terms of those offers. I don't think that's
I don't know how things work out in Los Angeles, Mark. Okay.
Yeah, I was comparing to Meta.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Emily.
Well, Mark, so you reported last week that Apple is considering using AI from potentially Anthropic or OpenAI to power Siri. So how much of that is going on in this executive departure? Is it essentially Apple just saying they're kind of seeding in this AI arms race? I mean, do they really need the top talent if they're going to make all these plans to outsource a lot of their AI operations?
It's no coincidence that Pang is leaving a week after I broke the news about this change. He runs the team that Apple is seriously considering demoting or replacing. He runs the team that Apple's top executives have essentially blamed for the mediocre performance of Siri and the LLM technology as part of Apple Intelligence. Obviously, one team believes this, another team believes that. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. And he's running that team. He gets an offer worth, I don't know, 10x what he gets paid at Apple, right? His team's being blamed and he's being offered 10x more money. How could you stay in that situation? You know, what Mark Zuckerberg is doing is making job offers to people that even if you don't want to work at Meta, you would be foolish not to take the money, right? I mean, they're offering generational wealth for your entire family tree for the next 300 years, potentially. You can't really say no to that, even if you don't want to work there. So he's putting people in those types of positions.
What is Meta going to do? Like, what are they trying to build here that is worth all this money?
Well, they're trying to get to AGI, right? They're trying to get to a point where the AI tools are even smarter than a human, right? And with this amount of money that they're throwing at the problem, they're probably going to end up being a big winner here, right? I think that on one hand, it's a completely ineffective solution from a cultural standpoint of building a team where you're getting people solely because of how much you're paying them, rather than people who genuinely want to be there and work together, right? On the other hand, if you get the right people and you actually get them to work together effectively, you're probably going to end up with a winner here if you bring all the best minds together. So I definitely think that OpenAI and Google and Apple's not even in the AI conversation at this point, as far as I'm concerned, really should have some concerns regarding Meta's standpoint right now.
I think people don't necessarily understand the opportunity AGI presents. you know, they know that Meta Platforms is a company that still makes the vast majority, I mean, close to, you know, in the 90% we're talking about here, of the money that it makes from selling ads, targeted ads to us on Instagram and on Facebook and WhatsApp, and increasingly WhatsApp at this point. What is the market opportunity for Meta Platforms to achieve AGI? Like, how is that going to make this company even more trillions of dollars?
I mean, this could add, if they get to AGI first, and you think of everything they can do with that, I mean, this could add $5 to $10 trillion to their market cap easily. They could become the most valuable company in the world. The advantage of Mark Zuckerberg and the voting and share control he has over Meta as one of the co-founders and being the CEO and basically owning the board there is he can do whatever he wants. Shareholders are not necessarily going to push back, and it's not a shareholder-owned company like you see, like an Apple, like a Google, right? This is a company where he can make the decisions, and if he wants to throw tens and hundreds of billions of dollars at this problem, he wants to throw $100, $200 million pay packages to bring in whoever he wants, he can do that. So he does have that inherent advantage to do whatever he so chooses.
Mark, who are the names that we watch next? Now with Pang out, who is in charge? And can you maybe share with us who you're potentially watching next to be leaving Apple?
I mean, for Apple, the AI work has now been spread amongst the company. They had an AI chief named John Giannandrea. He ran AI at Google till 2018 when Apple brought him over, and he's been extensively demoted over the last several months. They removed Siri from his command. They removed robotics from his command, a series of AI-related frameworks called CoreML and App Intense, and a bunch of other AI-related things. He essentially runs research for AI at Apple and some annotation and analytics and testing teams related to Siri and artificial intelligence. At some point, he's no longer going to be there. That's the name that a lot of AI industry people have been watching. And obviously, a lot of the other researchers who reported to Pang clearly probably on the way out as well.